Hey, elementary team. I am sending this video to you guys just to share with you guys something about just some things we have to change starting this Sunday, actually, January 8th. So I don't know if any of you guys sit when you guys go into the adult service where you guys sit, but I tend to sit in the back left towards where the double doors are. The closest to the youth room where the elementary kids meet on Sundays. And I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but the way the services land between the kids and the adults is a lot of times I can hear a lot of the loud noise from the kids service, especially when they're doing worship and playing games in the adult service. And I know, but that usually unfortunately tends to hit during like the lesson time. And then when the adults are doing worship, you can't hear anything because the kids are focusing on worship and stuff like that. And so I just been spending some time just trying to think of like, man, how can we do this? I don't want to have to move the kids out of that room because I love that space for them. And so just in some conversations, and not because anybody's asked this of me, but just in thinking about like, man, how could we do this so that everybody works well together, the adults and the kids? I just thought a very simple solution, which I know isn't as simple as I'm making it out to be, would be actually, as you guys, I want to change our order of service. And again, the reason why I want to do this is so that when the kids are playing their games and they tend to be a little bit noisier, or when they're worshiping and we turn the music up loud so that they can hear and they can worship along. Is I want that to coincide when the adults are worshiping. So basically, so I'm going to have attached to this email, you guys, kind of like a sample flow of the morning of kind of like, man, like when I go in and teach in a few weeks, like kind of this is how I'm going to think about it. Um, and we're just going to tell the kids like, hey, we're just trying some different. I love that we're actually going to put worship at the end. For the same reason why the adults do, because it tends to then becomes more of a response and a worship. I mean, because worship is praising God, right? And so what's great is that we get to then worship and praise God based upon what we've just learned about Him. So hopefully this flow will help lead us into a more worshipful experience with the kids versus having worship at the end or at the beginning where it's kind of like they go from like playing, not even focused, and then we worship and like half the kids are like, we're not ready for this. So by putting it at the end, hopefully hopefully it'll help them be like, hey, um, this will just help us just to engage more. And you can use that as you like, hey guys, as we're changing up the service, like the reason why we're doing this is because, man, like, worship, we want this to be a response. Your worship actually acts as a response to what we just learned about God or Jesus in this morning. So I'm going to attach to this kind of like a temporary timeline. If you guys look at this and you're not sure how that's going to work on a Sunday, grab me before Sunday. Don't grab me on a Sunday morning because, frankly, I'm usually like torn in 5 different directions. Call me, email me, text me, whatever you guys need to know. Let me know, and we can walk through the service. We can look at the curriculum together and be like, hey, here's how it's going to look. Because basically, you're going to have to put some things out of order, especially if there's like a loud, noisy game at the beginning. You're going to have to actually move that to the end. Again, just to help with the noise and distractions. And actually, again, I like that because as much as I know kids love games, and sometimes the games help give like a pretext to what we're going to learn. Um, Again, it's like it's hard sometimes when they get really wiggly and they get very energetic from the game to get them to sit down and be quiet for the lesson. So it's hard because I'm trying not to make it to where they sit where all they're doing is sitting for 30 minutes. But this is a great place. Like at the beginning is a great place to do the craft, right? So that can be a quieter activity. So maybe you start off with a craft and then you go into the Bible story and any object lessons and stuff like that, and then you do the worship and then you do the games and then prayer and stuff like that. So I'm going to send you guys again. I know I've said this like 3 times, but I'm going to attach to this email a list of kind of like a suggested flow for the morning. And if you have any issues or questions before Sunday, please let me know. Or before the first Sunday in which you teach, please let me know so that you can make sure that you feel confident and are ready to teach on your Sunday morning. So thank you guys so much for this. I appreciate it, and I will see you Sunday.